We have breaking news. The United States has just declared the intent to become the global leader in blockchain and digital finance. This isn't directly coming out of the normal powers that be. This is coming out of the SEC. SEC Chairman Paul Atkins just dropped a bombshell at a speech in Washington D.C., and it's called Project Crypto, aiming to bring all markets on chain, aiming to modernize the United States regulatory regime, rules, and regulations to support digital assets and to make the United States a leader in digital assets. Wake me up because I feel like I'm dreaming right now. Bear with me. This is going to be a wild one. So you guys can see the speech right here, published today, American Leadership in the Digital Finance Revolution. Paul Atkins, chairman, obviously. Today, I would like to discuss what Commissioner Hester Pierce and I are calling, quote unquote, Project Crypto, which will be the SEC's North Star in aiding President Trump in his historic efforts to make America the crypto capital of the world. North Star looks familiar. But before I discuss our plan for crypto market primacy, let me take a few moments to revisit some inflection points in the history of our financial markets that bear similarities to the one that we are at right now, so that the future we shape is worthy of the legacy we inherit. He's literally comparing crypto, digital assets, distributed ledger technology to the origination of the DTCC, the importance, framing this as a turning point in American financial history, comparing it to the founding of the New York Stock Exchange as well, under a literal buttonwood tree in 1792. And as I already mentioned, the creation of the DTCC during the paperwork crisis, saying plainly, America must do more than keep pace. America must lead. Before I dive deeper into this, I wanted to share just briefly, for those of you that missed it, this came out yesterday, late afternoon. This is the White House Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financial Technology document that came out. And you can see there's a couple of projects mentioned in here. There's, I think, a footnote of a Ripple speech. There's a direct graphic of Chainlink and CCIP cross-chain oracles. There's a direct reference of Hedera DeFi stack getting a grip on the DeFi ecosystem. This is pulling from 58 here. Understanding the DeFi technology stack is integral to understanding the DeFi ecosystem. And then it says DeFi technology stack, which is leading you here as well. So cool to see Hedera, Chainlink. I know that there's Ripple. There's other assets in here, obviously, but stick with the ones that we talk about all the time on this channel. Let me move back to this speech, though, because this is pretty ridiculous. Key highlights of this speech. And, I think the one thing that sticks out to me verbatim here, and I'll pull it. I'm not going to read this whole thing verbatim. This sticks out to me verbatim. We are at the threshold of a new era in the history of our markets. Just think about all this crap that's happened with the SEC over the past decade, and what we're seeing right now is wild. We are at the threshold of a new era in the history of our markets. As I mentioned earlier, today I'm announcing the launch of quote-unquote Project Crypto, a commission-wide initiative to modernize the securities rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on chain. It looks like they are going to be digging into the definitions that are set forth in Howey potentially. So you've got almost 100-year old regulation determining if something's a security or not, the Howey Act. And I don't know any other way to interpret this. Commission-wide initiative to modernize the securities rules and regulations to enable America's financial markets to move on chain. Key highlights: reimagining how securities are distributed, traded, and stored. Key highlights include new rulemaking to enable tokenized securities and digital assets, bright line guidance for what is and what isn't a security. So exactly what we just mentioned. Looks like Howie's going to be potentially modernized here. Embracing of stablecoins under the new Genius Act. Regulatory clarity to reshore crypto companies driven out by Operation Choke Point 2.0. So bringing back financial innovation, onshoring crypto, which was offshored for the past decade plus because of fear of retaliation for trying to innovate in the States. And certainly there have been bad actors in the crypto sphere, but a lot of good actors have also just totally moved offshore. So onshoring those entities back into the U.S. Super applications and self-custody was also talked about. Atkins endorsed the rise of super applications, facilitating super apps, horizontal integration of product offerings. Imagine a single platform where you can trade stocks, crypto assets, and tokenized bonds all under one license. Do you understand what we're talking about here? Like between the documentation yesterday, you see stuff coming out of the working in collaboration with Clearstream and Euroclear and DTCC and some of the entities there. This stuff has been being built for years. This is wild to me because I remember doing videos back in 2020 and people being like, this guy must be a crazy person, as I was still like drinking beer, sitting in my basements or smoking cigarettes on my front porch talking about crypto. And literally the stuff that we were talking about in 2020 and 2021 is like coming to fruition, even to the extent of like the special purpose banking charters out of the OCC. This is just crazy. Yes, he reaffirmed self-custody as a fundamental American value. This isn't just about industry, it's about individual freedom in the digital economy. Part 4, he was talking about DeFi, on-chain systems, ERC 3643, which is kind of the open standard, or ERC 3643 is essentially like the tokenization, the RWA standard that is more or less been adopted by a decent amount of entities. I think it's Tokeny, if I'm not mistaken, who kind of authored that standard, but a lot of different entities using that standard now. I know XDC network. I am not sure about Ripple and what the plans are for the XRP ledger, but I'm assuming I think Hedera 3643 through Tokeny is essentially like pretty much the open framework for tokenization and RWAs, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Atkins went even further, embracing on-chain software systems, both decentralized and centralized, calling for updates to outdated SEC rules that assume intermediaries must exist in every transaction. Under a proposed innovation exemption, projects could launch under flexible principle-based guardrails as long as they meet the true policy goals of security laws. That means builders using compliance-ready standards like ERC 3643 or other open standards that are widely adopted by the industry, which is going to be looked at as a tech thing, could launch in the U.S., not only in Singapore, Dubai, or Switzerland, but in the U.S. as well. This speech wasn't just a random talk. I mean, the chairman of the SEC doesn't come out and just start saying this stuff. We know how Gensler was for years. It's a strategic roadmap that is very obviously backed by the president's working group on digital assets, the Genius Act, and I'm assuming this has Trump's full support as well. At the end of the day, though, I mean, we know that technology should be bipartisan. Not the left and the right. Not only the left, like they're not the only people using the internet. The right's not the only people using the internet in 2025. Just like blockchain and distributed ledger technology, it literally politics don't really, yeah. I mean, it should be bipartisan. The message is clear, though, from this speech. From the strategic roadmap, the U.S. wants to lead in global payments. The U.S. wants to lead in tokenization of real-world assets, and the U.S. wants to lead in digital markets infrastructure. As Atkins is quoted in saying within here, we will not watch from the sidelines. We will lead, we will build, and we will ensure the next chapter of financial innovation is written in America. If you're just watching this video right now, again, comparing it to the origination of the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation, comparing it to the origination of the New York Stock Exchange, what is going on with digital assets, distributed ledger technology, and blockchain in the United States at this point is wild, because it is everything that we, anticipated potentially coming to fruition. And I know it's taken so much time. It's just good to see at least some forward-looking statements, hopefully that hold water. SEC permits also in-kind creations and redemptions for crypto exchange traded products. This coming out just a couple of days ago as well. The SEC voted to approve orders to permit in-kind creations and redemptions by authorized participants for crypto asset exchange traded product shares. The orders approved a couple of days ago reflect a departure from recently approved spot Bitcoin and Ether ETPs, which were only limited to creations and redemptions on an in-cash basis. With today's or a couple of days ago's approved orders, Bitcoin and Ether ETPs consistent with other commodity-based ETPs approved by the commission will be permitted to create and redeem shares on an in-kind basis. Shout out to Jesse from Hashport for this one, because I did not see this one. Hashport's kind of the bridge into the Hedera ecosystem. I'm in a group chat, and he's in that chat, and he shared that article. So shout out to Jesse. But again, you kind of see. I wanted to go over this real quick. So this is AUDC and AUDD, the stablecoin. This is a press release from July 31st. It looked like it was initially publicized on the 19th of June. This may be an update. Definitely is. But AUDC is proud. I should preface before I get into this. AUDD definitely issued on Hedera, but AUDD also has ties into XRPL, XDC network, Ethereum, Solana, Stellar. So we'll give credit where credit's due. AUDD, Australian digital dollar, maximum flexibility, blockchain agnostic. But we do know there are Hedera specific things going on with Australian Payments Plus or AP Plus. Again, this is a convergence of, I want to say, FTPOS and NPP, which is National Payments in Australia, and I think one other entity. They all merged into AP Plus. AP Plus, governing council member of Hedera. They were announced that they were one of the participants that were included into Project Acacia. But this is a newer announcement today. AUDC is proud to announce that its Australian dollar stablecoin, AUDD, has been selected for use in at least 2 of Australian Payment Plus's 3 interlinked use cases under the Reserve Bank, so the Central Bank of Australia, and Digital Finance CRC's landmark Project Acacia. Project Acacia is a national initiative that examines the role of digital money in wholesale tokenized asset markets, aiming to test how various forms of digital currency, including stablecoins, bank issue deposit tokens, and a pilot wholesale central bank digital currency. Wholesale is, think of it as like not like the digital cash like we would use, like the retail central bank digital currency, but more like B2B or business to business. This project is a fundamental part of Australia's efforts to modernize its financial infrastructure and regulatory frameworks in line with emerging digital asset tech. As one of the forms of digital money selected by AP Plus in the project AUDD issued on the Hedera blockchain or network, will be integrated into their project streams that test, number 1, settlement coordination across tokenized assets. So enabling real-time atomic settlement between multiple money types and supporting the coordination of settlement across wholesale tokenized financial infrastructure. And NPP-enabled stablecoin interoperability proof of concept, where Australia's domestic real-time payment rails are extended with stablecoin on and off-ramp capability. That sounds a heck of a lot to me like the Hedera network is going to be tying directly in through AUDD and the stablecoin into Australia's domestic real-time payment rails. Pretty crazy, right? Selection of AUDD in collaboration with AP Plus reinforces AUDC's role as a trusted digital money provider in Australia's regulated financial innovation landscape, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can go to Australian Payments Plus for the original announcement, which is selected in to participate in the Reserve Bank of Australia's tokenization pilot. You can go and learn a little bit more about Project Acacia on the Reserve Bank of Australia's website as well. But just huge news. And as I mentioned, AUDD, although these cases right here through Australian Payments Plus, definitively on the Hedera network, settlement coordination across tokenized assets, NPP-enabled stablecoin interoperability proof of concept, Australia's domestic real-time payment rails. Those are Hedera, AUDD as a whole, Stellar, XRP Ledger, Ethereum, Solana, and Hedera. And as we saw, AUDD to launch on XDC network, targeting payments and trade tokenization as well. So shout out where shout outs do across the board there. You can see the XRP Ledger article, Novati's Australian dollar back. Novati's talked about XRP Ledger for a while, like years. I remember doing, you can go back and probably find some videos where Novati's mentioned talking about Ripple, Net, and XRPL. Yeah, White House document came out yesterday. The short bullet point fact sheet of this, ushering in the golden age of crypto. Man, we're seeing some pretty interesting verbiage here today for those that have been in certain communities for a while. And, you know, it is pretty crazy. Some of the stuff that even I used to talk crap on, some of the Riddler stuff. North Star, golden age of crypto. I don't know. When President Trump, all this stuff, positioning America as a leader in digital asset markets, SEC and CFTC using their existing authorities to immediately enabling the trading of digital assets at the federal level. Guys, I don't even know. Like, I really feel like I should just stop making videos. All this stuff is wild to me. Like, it's literally, I'm not making that up. Like, yeah, I'll use stuff to help me streamline and do these videos sometimes. But this is crazy to see this stuff like that we've been talking about for years, all kind of right there. So I don't know. This is a 166-page document out of the White House. Coinbase announces XRP Perpetual futures to supercharge institutional exposure. Launching Nano XRP Perpetual futures, unlocking institutional grade exposure to XRP with unmatched capital efficiency, margin trading access, and seamless alignment to spot price. Launching on August 18th, Nano XRP US perpetual style futures are coming to Coinbase derivatives. The expansion of Coinbase's perpetual style product suite, marking another milestone in their mission to redefine market asset access for US investors. Algorand released their 2025 plus roadmap this morning. You can go to Algorand Foundation's website or Twitter page and watch the entire live stream. Haven't announced the podcast yet, but Genfinity will be doing a podcast with the Algorand Foundation CMO next, I think, Wednesday. So you can go to @Genfinity.io if you want to check that out. Not financial advice, full disclosure. Obviously, Genfinity has a media partnership with Algorand Foundation as well. But honestly, happy to be able to provide hopefully some, well thought out content, articles kind of detailing out what the roadmap entails from the tech standpoint. Some of the stuff that stick out to me, foundation share of total stake falling from 63 to 21%, further decentralization of the network, peer-to-peer, further decentralization of the network. This I liked a lot because this is a problem. If you've been in crypto for a long time and you understand how some of these ecosystems work, there has been a problem across the board in every ecosystem with kind of the way that grants have historically been flushed out. And I really do think that like stuff like this is important. So essentially what they've announced is this XGov system that's going to debut in Q3 of this year, which details a community elected council. So from the community will evaluate grant proposals and offer recommendations, which I 1000% think is super important because who has more stake in the ecosystem than, people that are validating the network and the community, or like the active community. So I think that this is pretty cool. This is awesome to see in crypto. Obviously, final approval, as mentioned in here, stays with the block proposers, accountability through consensus. But I think we're going to start, or hopefully start to see more and more community driven initiatives. I know in XRPL, I think, what is it, ZAO? So yeah, long-term incentives, fee structures, and validator rewards are going to be revamped. Anyways, And I think the other thing that sticks out to me about Algorand, and then I'll move on here, is how much they've really put into two things here that were in this also. So the user experience, there's a new Roku wallet experience that's going to be rolling out that is like for everyday people, not just crypto users. I think they're even abstracting away somehow seed phrases and stuff like that. If I had to guess, they might be using that Roku wallet. This is totally speculation on my end. I do not know this, but we talk about the DREC and Decentralized Recovery Alliance a lot. Obviously, Algorand, Hedera, Ripple, Constellation, Casper, Multiverse X, probably Cardano. I'm wondering if this wallet UX, Roca, and seedless self-custody, I wonder if this is DREC, because there's still seed phrases in DREC, but you have a helper system where nobody knows which part they have. It's just automated check-in between mobile devices. It's like a simple application, not only for retail, but for institutional, but for anything that potentially requires a password, not just crypto. I wonder if this is DREC. I don't know. Maybe it's totally not. Maybe I'm way off base, but still interesting. I am going to do a DREC interview soon too. I'm trying to put it together right now. But anyways, so that the user experience, the wallet standpoint, and developer experience, ALGO Kit 4.0. Algorand, I think, was the first blockchain network across the board that was native Python with ALGO Kit 2.0. ALGO Kit 3.0 introduced TypeScript, and ALGO Kit 4.0, Rust, Swift, and Kotlin. So they've done a really good job at just opening up as many developer languages as possible. And I've mentioned before, but I went to the Python US conference. And for those who don't know, Python's a coding language that is like really big in machine to machine, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence. Certainly, probably the lion's share is Python, and like business transactions, like financial transactions, like data scrubbing and stuff like that. So like when you go to the conference, there's like Bloomberg and there's Meta, which was Facebook and stuff like that. The only blockchain that's been there in the past 2 years has been Algorand, period. And that's without, I don't need to like disclose a media relationship to say that like that is important to go out there and actually start showcasing blockchain, distributed ledger, and Web3 technology at very Web2 traditional finance, traditional industry, traditional development type conferences like that. It's massive. We need to be doing way more of that in this industry, because a lot of crypto, for those of us that have been here for a while, and I think we're moving past this hopefully now, a lot of it ends up just being recycled community, recycled liquidity, recycled. We have these huge blow off tops and then we reset. And then we have these huge blow off tops and then we reset. We need to be making it easier for people that aren't in crypto to get into distributed ledger and blockchain and start learning about what's going on. I think stablecoins are going to do a lot of that work for the industry. I think it's just going to naturally happen, because once people start using stablecoins and realize that they're backed or whatever, or pegged, but let's say backed, then it's that much easier to kind of get into this space because you're already using stablecoins. Anyways, an XDC network. So another disclosure, Genfinity has a media relationship with XDC. But for those of you guys that want to stay on top of some of these utility-driven ecosystems, which I personally consider XDC to be one, I'm not a financial advisor. That's not financial advice. I just have done a lot of interviews. I see what they're building, from at least from the trade finance standpoint, and I think it's pretty impressive. We do a really good job. I feel like we do a really good job at kind of creating a really nice summary on a monthly basis, or at least trying to, along with all the other content that we publish. And it's crazy to kind of go through some of these. Like, this is just July 2025 for XDC. You had a big influencer kind of with the co-founders of XDC rolling out a campaign, 21 shares, launching an XDC network ETP, Asatera partnership for RWA training, FinTech TV interview with New York Stock Exchange. They joined the Digital Chamber of Commerce in the U.S. Genius Act becomes law, which they've talked about a lot. Omni-chain expansion with Layer 0 and Stargate. XDC RWA Accelerator Program. Second tokenization, second RWA tokenization accelerator in partnership with Plug and Play went live. We try to link to all this stuff too. Cointelegraph article, and then looking ahead. There's just a ton of stuff that it's almost impossible to keep up with crypto. We try to do a good job at at least for the ecosystems that we work within, trying to, put together like a nice summary. So, if you guys are interested in that, you can check that out as well. We try to be agnostic too. We talk about base, we've, all this other jazz. So anyways, I'll go back to this again, because I just think this is wild. SEC debuts Project Crypto to bring United States financial markets on chain. This is real life. It's crazy to say that this is real life, but this is real life. And hope you guys are all doing okay. Try to not pay attention to some of the noise. I know that, crypto social media gets really noisy. Keep a level head, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys when I talk to you. Thanks. Bye.